It's been a dramatic and emotionally charged AFL season. Now, it's time for the final feast. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and rejoice with Pina Arena and our national anthem.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Welcome to the Footy Show. Great to see everybody here tonight. And boy, are we in for an action-packed 2 hours of Footy Show tonight in the 1994 edition. This is what it's all about. Come 5 o'clock, either Mark Besto or Johnny Worsfold will be holding up the 1994 Premiership Cup. We've got a great 2 hours ahead. Let's get straight into it and welcome the former captain of Geelong, 300-game player, John Sammy Newman. Now, Sam, you'd be very happy with the result of the tribunal during the week.
I can't believe you've got another cup, Eddie. You've got a cup fetish. Well, what a tremendous hometown decision for Gary Ablett. And of course, I think, Billy, you'll appreciate this, O.J. Simpson's lawyers have been in touch with Gary Ablett's defence. He wants to know how they've got the great man off because O.J. just struggling at the minute, got a bit of a DNA problem, but Gary thought that was the National Dyslexic Association of America, so it didn't faze him. He's going to be there, going around the world as we speak.
All right, Sam. Well, the man who tipped Carlton, we'll find out who the Moz he's going to put on later on in the show. But let's welcome our panel. First up, onto the ground, the starting three. Billy Brownless will be out there on Saturday. Doug Hawkins and Jason Dunster. On the bench, starting on the bench, and wouldn't you like to start these three on the bench if you were Malcolm Blight or Mickey Malthouse? Paul Roos, Craig Kelly and Wayne Carey. Let's hear it for the boys. And normally standing behind the bar, but slightly incapacitated, is Trevor Marmalade. Now, Trevor, you've got the broken ankle. What happened?
Well, mate, it's a long story. Yeah, I was kicking this umpire on Saturday night, and my right leg got really tired, so I swapped over to the left, and I don't know, I must have hit something hard. I believe it was the umpire's heart.
Spoken like a true North Melbourne man.
Heard the crunch, and there we go. No, it's actually what actually happened, Eddie. I was on my Quack 1000. I was going down the Great Ocean Road and came off down a ravine, and I got up. I was okay, and as I walked off, I stuck my foot in the pothole.
And Trev, can we ask you, what about North Melbourne, mate? Very unlucky.
Well, it just goes to prove you don't have to be Brian Brown to be stiff, do you? You really don't.
Very harsh. Very harsh indeed.
I mean, I think North did prove that they are a very good football side, except for the kicking it bit.
All right, mate. Well, we'll talk a bit more about the North Melbourne game last week with Billy Brownless and also the captain, Wayne Carey, from North Melbourne. Well, one of the things that has been lost from the AFL Grand Final in recent years has been the Grand Final sprint. But tonight, the Footy Show brings it back. And out at Victoria Park, warming the boys up, is our MC out there, Max Walker. How are you, Max?
Hey, how you going, Eddie? I tell you what, the atmosphere looks absolutely unbelievable. I remember it from last year, sitting in there in the warmth, all the lights. It was magnificent. But out here at Victoria Park, believe me, there is a bit of a bit of room around for those of you that haven't quite decided to brave the cold. It's about 6 or 7 degrees out here. We will have a level playing field. There's $5,000 up for grabs. I think the only team not represented is the West Coast Eagles. That's understandable. But it really is hamstring territory out here. I almost pulled one on the way out. I thought, wow. It's going to be sensation out here, actually. I think talking about the footy club sprints in the AFL days, when you look at the crowd around here now, but Crackers Keenan was a legend in my books. I think it was maybe late 79, 1980 when Crackers run the mile out there and ended up unloading a lot. Peanuts, chocolates, lollies on the boots of Ross Oakley. It was quite a finish. But believe me, we'll cross back to you shortly. 2 big heats, and then we have the final $5,000, $3,000 to win. 1,500 for second and 500, well, a little bit of spending money for third.
Go on, Max. We'll be out there later on to just see who the fastest man in the AFL is. Well, we've got the boys from Geelong in here. The boys from the West Coast Eagles are over at the airport at the moment in Perth. Sam, conduct a few interviews here, mate, because the boys are ready to get on the plane.
They are indeed, and looking for... There's Mickey Mould. Mickey! Give it... Mickey! Hey! Mickey just checking his joke book through the scanner. Never even registered on the scanner his joke book. Mickey! Hey, isn't he rude? Why won't he speak to us? And there's Peter Matera just explaining how he lost the medal the other night. And that could be some of his family, I'm not sure. But there's Peter there now, and... hey, Peter! God, he speaks to everyone. Why do they speak to everyone else but not us? They only speak to their own kind. And there's the smiling assassin, Johnny! Johnny! What's good for wind, son? He's a chemist, did you know that? A pharmacist. What's good for wind? Someone said kites. Come here. Well, now, look, they're obviously focused because not even being interrupted by us. Well, there you are. I mean, the West Coast getting on the Dakota to come over. And they came across on cattle trucks last year, didn't they?
Well, Sam, we'll be talking to the boys from the West Coast.
Did.
We'll be talking to the boys a little bit later as we come up for the teams. But before we go to the break and come up with the Geelong side for the 1994 Grand Final, let's go to the commentary box and EJ and Louis Richards.
Teddy, this is a ring-a-ding-ding show.
By golly, Louis, you're right. And all the Hawks done us laugh all night so far. More action later, Louis.
What a great action night tonight.
Oh, welcome back. Before we go on to the Goal of the Year competition, I'd like to show you this. It's my new book called Shorts. It's an abridged version of my other book, Pants. It's all the long words taken out of it and lots of pictures, so it's easy to read. Ideal for Collingwood supporters.
You are unbelievable. Now, when you've finished flogging tomorrow's fish and chip papers, may we look at that marvellous moment of football opportunism belonging to Mick McGuan.
McGuan, and Mickey's got up. Haddock the running. Look at him go. He burst through the centre, sidesteps the Redos. Where did they come from? Barges through the berets and bolts past the Arctic tomb. M-I-C-K-E-Y, this is unbelievable. Oh no, they're coming from everywhere. Says au revoir. Sorry about the punches and gets on his bike. It's a kind of nightclub with Redos. Collingwood jumper in.
Good evening, Peter Hitchener in the National Line.
After 327,000 bounces and 22,000 kilometres, he sets sail for home. And Mick McGuan, he's kicked it, he's kicked the goal.
Oh, yes. What a goal from Mickey McGuan against Carlton earlier this year. Trevor Marmalade, you enjoyed that one?
I did very much, and doesn't Sam suddenly bear a striking resemblance to John Elliott?
I don't know. We might see a little bit more about that one later on. Who were those blokes at the start of that anyway, Sam? I don't know.
The imposters.
Billy Brownless, thanks very much for joining the show tonight. We know there's a lot of pressure on the footballers coming up to a grand final. I think Billy deserves a round of applause for coming in tonight. Good on you, Billy. Billy, a fantastic effort last week by the club. Of course, Wayne's still over there nursing his wounds, probably from what's happened after the game rather than what happened during it. But
Wayne hasn't been home yet since Saturday. Sorry about that, Wayne.
But Billy, the preparation, it's just been fantastic. The defeat of Footscray by 5 points with your goal after the siren. Then a nice hit out against Carlton, nice and easy in the end. And of course, last week's absolute beauty. You happy the way things have gone?
Yeah, certainly, Ed. If you're a script writer, you probably couldn't write a better script. So, the two after the siren have been great, and that win against Carlton when a few boys came in and they put their hand up and done well. So that was a really good win. And I think someone is, I don't know if it's looking down on us. So I don't know if it's fate or good luck or whatever, but I just hope it continues for one more week.
Now, Peggy, let me ask you this. No, you. You've been involved in many grand finals. Do you think the light preparation the Eagles have had will stand them in good stead, or the hard run that Geelong have had will be beneficial?
Well, I think there's merits to both preparations, Sam. I think most clubs used to enjoy the week off when they had the chance, but I think the school of thought has changed to the fact that if you have a hard build-up, it probably gives you a more solid preparation.
And, of course, you do know the difference between light and hard, don't you?
Well, most definitely.
Can go to sleep with the light on. And should stand them in enormous stead. Wayne, what do you reckon? What do you reckon about the preparation of the respective sides?
Like Jay said, I think that...
you haven't been home, have you? You haven't made it home since Saturday, have you?
I've had a few trips home.
You went home to get a change of clothes and then straight out again?
No. Don't starting rumours, mate. But, like Jay said, I think that Geelong have had a reasonable preparation and, obviously the West Coast boys have had a very good win.
Well, of course, Wayne's had a good look at the West Coast this week. That's the coolest. Most of the places have been drinking. Trev, what did you think of that?
I was going to say, Wayne definitely has been home. He went home a couple of times to check that Mickey Martin hadn't slipped into a lukewarm bar.
OK, let's go now to our interview with Malcolm Blight, recorded earlier in the day by Anne-Marie Sparkman, and just find out what the coach of the Geelong Football Club is feeling coming up to the 94 Grand Final.
Cats coach Malcolm Blight, welcome to the Grand Final Footy Show. What we want to know is just what sort of condition your nerves are in this close to the big day.
Pretty good considering. I mean, I've training's been fairly light, and other than doing some media stuff, I suppose it's been good to be involved again.
Okay, to be honest, 3 grand finals in 6 years. The heartbreak of 2 losing ones. Does that make it worse, or has it toughened you up for this one coming up?
Hopefully, it's toughened me up. We've had a sparkling one, a disappointing one. So I reckon that odds are on our side. It's probably our turn now. That's the way I'm looking at it.
The heartbreak, I know how devastating it is. Do you wake up in the middle of the night thinking, oh no, please not again, please not again?
Well, after looking at last year and not making it, you just realise how great it is to even get in the grand final, of course. And yeah, you have nightmares, there's no doubt about it.
You have looked like you've enjoyed this final series. I've never seen a coach with so much heart on his sleeve at the end of a game. Do you feel that you're actually enjoying this? Because halfway through the year, it looked like the Cats were going for all money for getting into the final.
I think that's probably half the attitude that, because we did struggle mid-season and, all sorts of things were said, that now that when we've got it together, I mean, it's just saying, you keep pinching yourself and saying, is this really happening? Yeah. So it is good. It's actually good fun at the moment.
Now, the players have given you a huge rap on your pre-match speeches. They're saying that they're absolute blinders. Now, have you got any pearls you can tell us about for Saturday?
Oh, look, I do think that's overrated, quite frankly.
Do you ad-lib?
No, I do prepare. I mean, you do prepare, but it's only some points because, when a guy's got the footy in front of him and chasing, I mean, what I said an hour ago really doesn't have much to do with it. I mean, it might just help to start with, that's all.
But firing up relaxed, very laid-back boys like Billy Brownless, you must be saying something to get them revved up.
No, Billy's been terrific. I mean, it's really Billy doing it, not me. I mean, I'd love to think I was a puppeteer, but I'm really not.
What about as far as the time when you grabbed one of your players, no names mentioned, and grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and shook him at quarter time against North? In hindsight, what did you think of that action?
Well, we like to be the best dressed club in the competition, and with a rip in his jumper, I mean, it was just a matter of trying to close that rip up.
Obvious now, Malcolm. What did you say to him?
Oh, look, it was really just a technique thing. It was better shown than spoken about.
All right, and we've got one last question from our footy sage, Sam Newman, who obviously couldn't be here to ask it in person. He wants to know, Malcolm, if you lose this grand final, will you be coach of Geelong next year?
That's a very interesting question. But I know, Sam, you'd asked a thing like that because I know you're pretty keen on the job. But having looked at you on the footy show for the last 12 months, I'm absolutely certain I'll keep doing it because you've got no hope.
Well done and good luck. All of Victoria will be behind you on Saturday.
Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie Sparkman there with Malcolm Blight. And have you been after his job all year?
Not at all. I didn't ask that question at all, and I would think win, lose or draw, Malcolm Blight's just about got the job for as long as he wants it down there at the minute.
Billy, there was a mention there to Peter Riccardi getting a shake-up at quarter time last week against North Melbourne. What did that do for the rest of the boys? Because you were down for the first time in the final series at quarter time.
Yeah, well, it certainly did spark us all up because we didn't want to get whiplash again at half-time or something like that. But it'd be interesting to see if Rico's in the side tonight.
All right, well, that's a beautiful cue thrown to me too, Billy, because now it's time to look at the Geelong side that will represent the team and the club in the 1994 Premiership against the West Coast Eagles, and it is the exact same team that ran out onto the park last week onto the MCG against North Melbourne. No changes to the Geelong side from the preliminary final, with the backline of Stephen Hocking, O'Reilly, Hanley, the halfbacks of Mansfield, McGrath, Hinkley, the centre line of Pickering, Couch, Riccardi, Colbert, Brownless and Hickmott are the half forwards. Brewer, Ablett and Tudor, the forward line. The rucks are Barnes, Bairstow and Hocking. The interchange, Brown, Wills and Mensch. Sam, you happy with that lineup?
This, Eddie, is a beautiful side. This is a marvellous bunch of lads from down there at Cryo Bay, and I tell you what, I reckon the very tough preparation they've had will stand them in good stead. And besides the obvious names that we mentioned, like yourself and Gary and all the people down there, the significant players, the support players are so important, Dougie and Jason, I would suggest, in Hickmott and Tudor and Brewer down there on the half-forward line.
He's been a sensation, hasn't he, Brewer?
He has
Sam?
been fantastic.
I still think, Sam, for Geelong to win, they need Barnes, Hocking, Bairstow and Couch to play very well.
Yeah, I
very,
know,
very well from the wing.
I know that, Dougie, but what my point is that we mention those players all the time, and of course they are important, but the people that give them a chance to prevail are the support staff, who are not support in any lesser capacity because they're in the side, but it is so important that those lesser known, the lesser public guys actually perform on the day.
I think, Sam, if these good players play well, these fringe players you might be calling will play well anyway.
Yes, thank you very much, Doug.
Billy, it must have been disappointing, obviously, for Tim Darcy, who's been at the club for 15 years, and also Barry Stoneham to pull out during the week and to miss out on this grand final.
Yeah, certainly. The boys are really doing it hard, but you know, I suppose the decisions have got to be made. And if Tim did come in, or Grant Tanner, who was looked like he might get a game, you know, someone would have had to drop out, and that might have been a bloke like Andrew Wills, who's played every game, or you know, someone like that. So it's very hard decisions to be made, and it'd be great if we could play 26 players. You know, because you'd love to play them.
Now, Ned,
we might win.
Ned and Wayne, you've been part of the finals action. Now, Paul, we'll get to you just in a second, but I wanted to ask you two guys.
Can we get a different shop? Do I have to be in the shop every time?
Hey, Trev, are you selling sports cars or something, eh?
What do you think about that side, Wayne, that you played against last week? No change. Do you think they have an opportunity to be competitive or, in fact, win against the West Coast? What's your honest opinion, not the diplomatic one?
Oh, no, I think they've definitely got a chance. I think that I honestly believe that West Coast will win the game. But I think that Geelong are definitely a chance, and with guys like Mansfield and, like you said, the lesser lights, I think that Geelong definitely will be competitive, but I can't see them beating West Coast.
So you say they'll definitely win the game, but if you had beaten them by, say, a point like or a kick like Geelong did, you would probably think North Melbourne would start favourites because you're the captain of the side. So what's the difference?
Well, I think the difference is if you're there, you think you can win it, but if you're not, you've got the choice of picking a side, haven't you?
Very, very good answer, that, Wayne.
Jason, what do you think of this Geelong lineup?
I think it's a very well-balanced side. As Sam said before, they've all played well. They haven't had to rely on too many players. And the guy I feel sorry for that Billy mentioned before is young Tanner. I think he's been fantastic all year. Yeah. And it's a shame that he's going to miss out through injury.
Yeah, well, that's right. We thought he might come up, but obviously he couldn't. Wednesday night he was ruled out. So
you thought he'd come up, did you, Bill? You had a good look at him and thought he might be there, did you? You've become an absolute sensation. You've become now a medical man, have you?
No, and I picked a side too. I helped Malcolm. That's why I got to run.
Billy, one to go before we go to the break. 18 points you lost to the West Coast Eagles earlier this year in round 14. Of course, you haven't had a great run against them, particularly going back 2 years in the grand final. Why can Geelong win this game?
We can win because the boys in the middle will
kick it to you.
No, hopefully they kick it to me enough, but I think that's where it's going to be won. Bairstow, Barnes, Couch and Hocking, it's going to be one in there, and if they kick it enough times up to guys up the forward line, we should win it.
I said that, didn't I?
Did you say that, Doug?
Yes, I did.
You should be a coach, Dougie.
Just on the off chance that, you know, the Eagles have those 4 guys covered, then what? Plan B.
Plan B and then C, mate.
All right, well, we'll find out on Saturday. We've got plenty more of the Footy Show coming up, though, after this.
It's not a hard question. It's only about...
What do you run into when you haven't got a gun?
What do you think we should call them?
Catfish. The what? Catfish.
The catfish. The
Catfish.
Oh, shitfish. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Take your gloves off when you go into the sea. You put them back on when you get off.
Could very possibly be so. Because do you know why that could possibly be so?
Why?
Never understood a word you said. And this is a friend of Alan Jakovich's. He said to the dog who asked you for your opinion. Give us a look at that. What the hell's going on in there?
Going where?
Going on inside there.
Inside. Oh, my mind goes round like a wind.
Your mind, your teeth. Been,
Don't think I'm one of those dills you pick up, because I'm not.
Welcome back to the Footy Show, and now it's time for the grand final, not the one on Saturday, but the grand final of the Footy Triathlon.
And here it is. It's the big one. And joining me, Michael Mansfield from Geelong and Greg Williams from Carlton. First off to you, Greg. Now, you've won the Brownlow on Monday night, but can you take off the big one here?
Well, I'll be trying, mate. I'll be
All
trying.
right, mate. Now, have you had any sleep since then?
Oh, I've had a couple of nights. Not so much Monday night, but...
Not so much Monday night?
last
Celebrate
couple
well. Drank beer, I hear.
Plenty of beer here.
All right, mate. Well, now you know what to do here. Now, the boys throughout the year, I mean, they're not bad on the hoops. They're okay on the handball, but the putting has been a shocker, to be quite honest. And here to show them how we have Wayne Grady, the 1990 USPGA champion. He's going to have it. Wayne.
Okay, mate. Now tell me, this one's not quite as fast as the Royal Melbourne Greens.
The boys only have a minute, usually. Ooh, very nice touch there. Oh, yes, that's looking the good. Bit of a swale to the left, I think, Wayne.
These similar.
Oh, it's a heartbreaker.
These similar to the greens at Shoal Creek where you won the tournament, Wayne?
Yeah, obviously I wasn't doing this at Shoal Creek, was I?
Well, hopefully you'll be better at the hoops and handballs, Wayne. And that's how it's done. You think you got the idea now, Greg?
Oh, that makes me feel better.
Okay, mate, you know the rules here, you know the ropes. On the siren, you got a minute. Don't step out of the box here, that's your box. You have to come inside the box here. Greg, yes, new rules here. Okay, on the siren, the minute starts. Okay. Very tense opening from Williams here. Gone in, settled into his stride very nicely here. As we come 1 from 3 from the basketball, almost dong the kitty on the head. Oh no, it would have been a tragedy. And up we come there. And 2 as we come to the golf section with 40 seconds left on the clock for Greg Williams. Trying to follow up his Brownlow win. And Wayne Grady, hope you're taking careful note of that one. As we see Greg coming. Oh! How stiff can you get? There's a score on 3. Oh, just cannoned off there. Very stiff. He's going for no, well off the mark. And 20 seconds left as he starts 5 on the left hand. The chosen hand for the handball here. As we see Greg with a score of 3. Score of 4. Coming in and score of 5. And ooh, just ringed it. The score of 5 there. Well done, Greg. And Michael, how lucky were you last week?
Oh, with the game?
With the game.
Oh, the game. Never worry. Yeah.
Never a worry. And you came through all right with the rib, because there was some doubt about you playing last week,
Oh,
even though
a couple
you
of the
told
people.
us exclusively here you would.
Yeah, there was no doubt in my mind, and they came through pretty well, yeah.
And how you been sleeping this week?
Yeah, all right. I only got 2 more sleeps, and then the big one on Saturday.
2 more sleeps. Well, tomorrow night you have to get the gym jams on,
Yeah.
glass of hot milk, and in nice and early so you can take on those boys from the west.
That's right.
And score of 5 to beat. How do you feel?
Oh, going in confident.
All right,
2
mate.
premierships this year.
2 premierships this year coming up for Michael Mansfield as we wait for the siren to begin your minute.
Go, Nick.
Or your 59 seconds, as it would appear. And proper one up there. Nice and easy there. Deliberate up, no good there. Oh, a very unforgiving rim here at the footy show. And bouncing way off. Oh, he needs this one. This is a big hoop. This is big. Oh! He takes it off here to give himself some hope. Score of 1 so far. 36 seconds left on the clock. Need to pop these in, Mike. You got to have a look. You got to have a look. Here we go. Oh, not very good. And Greg, how you feeling, mate? And a score of 2 coming to the handball. You'd be feeling like this with knowing you had 3 votes to come against Richmond, Greg, wouldn't you? And a bit of fananning over the line there, Michael. Watch that. Still a score of 2. Needs 3 to tie here. And almost hit Jack Dyer on the head. That's the close we've had. To the head there and throwing it away. And some conjecture from the panel there. Some conjecture. Billy reckons he should be given another couple of shots after the siren. Is that right there, Bill?
He would have won it after the siren.
He would have won it after the siren. Never mind, Michael. Commiserations, you're the runner-up. You take off the $2,000 worth of golfing equipment from someone or other. And our winner from Spalding. And Greg Williams takes off the trip for 2, 7 nights at the Capricorn Resort. Very well done there, Greg, to add to your stack of awards for the year. And would you like to say something?
Oh, well, I'd like to thank Channel 9 and Capricorn, of course. It's a great prize. And I'm sure Michael can make it a winner on the weekend.
Greg, can I ask you, how many trips have you won in the last week?
Last week, I think that's 3, Eddie.
Don't you think you're being a bit greedy, Greg?
Well, you can only do your best there,
You
Trevor,
can only
I'm
do
sorry.
your best, and your best has been better than everyone else this year. Very well done, Greg Williams.
Okay, let's go to the break. We'll be back with more Footy Show after this.
It's a good call. What, this is a family show, is it, Sam? What, if you're the Manson family? I've been having this dream, Eddie. I dreamt I was in a room with Adolf Hitler, Saddam Hussein, and Arthur Tunstall, and I had a gun with 2 bullets.
Oh, yeah? What did you do?
Shot Arthur twice. May I just follow up and say, Sam, you should be ashamed of yourself.
What have
the
I done?
furore you've caused here in Melbourne last week. Now, will you learn your lesson? Next time you go to a casino, don't leave your girlfriend sitting in the car, all right? Actually, I just want to say, I asked Mel Brown for a copy of Mongrels I've Met, and look what I've got. I've been left with half a mongrel.
Well, thousands of eagles are migrating east to their final nesting ground for the year, the MCG. But many think they've become a protected species thanks to the heritage listing the AFL have given them. They've had an easy ride into the finals, madam, haven't they?
Haven't they? The Eagles are there because they won it.
Absolute rubbish.
Absolutely. They did best, and that's why they're where they are today.
Well, how many finals would you like to have over here? You've had 2. You haven't even had to go out of the state to get into the grand final.
Wait a minute. It's an Australian Football League, isn't it?
Yes, so how many finals? Well, could I repeat the question? How many finals?
Well, you
would-
better ask Mr. Oldfield.
Who?
The AFL.
Mr. Oldfield?
Isn't he in it? Isn't he the head of the AFL?
Mr. Oldfield. Mr. Oakley.
Oakley, oh, right.
He makes those sunglasses you're wearing.
Come on, Sam, don't be an idiot. You know as well as I do. They make the rules, not us.
The anti-feminism kingdom paradise belong to them. The Catholic strategy with all the key for all those of paradise. Thank you for listening.
Are you speaking to me?
Yes.
Can you repeat that? No, don't bother. That's sort of
Because
come
I'm
sweat
mad.
right
Just
back.
listen to me.
Right.
And I have queued up, and at 9:10 they ran out of seats.
all they can offer us is a few standing room.
You
Now,
married?
this is bad. This is not right for Eagles members.
Oh, what a shame. Now, look, you got that off your chest?
Also, no.
No.
The
God,
airlines.
That could be your husband, let's hope.
The airlines.
The phone's rung.
The airlines are charging us $1,116 to fly there. Next week you can fly for $497.
Eagles can
They're
fly on
getting
their own,
us.
madam.
They're getting at us, and we're all livid, absolutely livid.
A whole lot of feathers up your backside you could fly over on your own.
You are a rude fellow.
No, listen to this. I want to ask you a
I
question.
watch you on Thursday nights, but you are a
done
rude bugger.
Madam, this is national television. Yes. What? You're that pleased with yourselves, are you, over here?
Certainly, why not?
You're not having a baby, are you?
My wife is.
And you're carrying it for her.
Right.
Thank you very much. How easy the AFL have given you the opportunity to play in a grand final. It's almost disgraceful, isn't it? You've become mute, have you?
No,
I've asked
no,
you a
it's-
sensible question. We've rendered you speechless.
No way, not me.
No, that's absolutely right. And good luck to your husband, too. Is he deaf by any chance?
You are a naughty boy. You really are, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Migrante Campos,
Sir.
en français, originaire du Midi.
Righto, okay.
Suivant la discussion,
We have created- We have created a record. 26 weeks we've been doing this, and you're the first person I've interviewed, and I haven't understand a bloody word you've said.
Sam Newman over there in Perth, and well, you can find them anywhere. Trev?
What's the story over there, Sam, in West Australia? Has there been some sort of science project gone amiss?
Return of the Nerds. I think it's making the second movie over there.
Now, Sam, how do you think the show's going so far?
Well, look, I've always wanted to do this, Eddie. This is a bit of my coaching.
Malcolm Blight was right.
I wanted to do this. Now, you there? Get Hawkins off. Right, get him off. Just because he's got a head like a spark plug doesn't mean to say he's playing like a champion. Get him off, and bring Ned Kelly on, and tell him to have a go.
No,
all right?
no, change that. We won't bring Ned on.
All right, who will we bring on?
Hey, chairman of selectors, we'll leave him there.
Bring Paul Roos on.
That's the one.
We need some shoring
the
up
move.
at the centre-half-back position.
All
Do
right,
it now.
let's make the interchange. Hawkins to the bench, Roos to the main panel. Get off. Okay, and time to have a look at the West Coast Eagles now. And Trevor, before mentioned, of course, that Greg Williams will be going to the Capricorn Resort. He'll be flying Ansett, and at the moment the West Coast Eagles high, probably above South Australia somewhere at the moment, in an Ansett flight as well. And we also thank Sporting for their generous their generous award for the golf clubs for Michael Mansfield. So thanks very much for all our sponsors on the Footy Triathlon. Now let's have a look at the West Coast Eagles team for the 1994 Grand Final. One change. Ashley McIntosh comes in. Mitchell White, the unfortunate player to go out from the team that fixed up Melbourne last week by 65 points in no uncertain terms. The back line, Hart, Brennan, Turnbull, halfbacks, Worsfold, Jakovic, McKenna. What a great line that one is. The centre lines, Matera, Kemp and Main Waring. Not bad either. The half forwards, Lewis, McIntosh named the centre half forward, but will probably get Billy Brownless or Gary Ablett. Hetty, who has been the real goal sneaker in the finals. Evans, Sumich and Ball have been the forward lines. The ruckman is Hines, the ruck rover Pike, the rover is Banfield, and the interchange, Wilson, Waterman and Bond. Sam Newman.
Well, we would like to sympathise with Mitchell White because that is a devastation to be dropped for a grand final. We'll give you Derek Kickett's address after the show, Mitchell. And but McIntosh had to come in. He's an absolute star. Injured last week for the Demons clash, and it was a foregone conclusion he was going to come in. But this is a very, very strong side. Now, lest we forget that they are a very strong side.
Sam, can I just ask you, have they got enough goal-kicking ability there? Hetty kicked 6 last week and Sumich 3. They were the only multiple goal kickers. Of course, Geelong, a very heavy goal-scoring side. Have they got enough firepower up forward to win a grand final?
Well, I look at it this way, Eddie. They've got through to the grand final. I don't care how bad their goal-kicking's been, they're there. And they've been pretty tough and pretty good. And while Billy reckons the centre line for Geelong going laterally across the ground is a very big strength for them, I think vertically down one side of the ground with Hart, Worsfold, Matera, Lewis, Evans, Hines and, of course, Wilson. This is a formidable combination.
You've gone on the bench.
Yes, we're just going down the side there. That's all we're doing.
What would you do to beat them?
Obviously, I've never been a coach. I brought the wrong man off the winter change bench.
What do you need to do to beat them,
change
Jace? You guys won over there twice this year.
Yeah, I think the best thing Geelong can do is be very aggressive early. I think they need to bowl a few of them over and then kick the first couple of goals. And if you really set them back from the start, they lose confidence.
That worked for them well in '89 when they played you guys.
Sorry, Ned, what was that?
I said that worked for them well in '89 when they bowled you, tried to bowl you.
I don't know if you know, Ned, but they're playing West Coast.
Yes, I know that.
But anyway, thanks for that. They're very aggressive early, Rosie. They're very aggressive early, and they bowl a few of their key players over. They can do well.
I think you've got to divide that back line too, don't you? You've really got to. Yes. You've got to take those half backs away from Djakovic because they play very good
and
tight.
open the game up. They're very good when they can rely on each other to help one another out.
They certainly are. And Billy, you'll be playing on probably Djakovic. How do you think you'll take him?
Well, I've played on him before, Roosie, so...
Carved him up.
I don't know, mate. I suppose I'll use my pace. And, but, he's going to back himself in and I'll back myself in. So, it should be a good tussle.
Craig Kelly over there by the bar, where Billy was mentioning before about a feeling of destiny down at Geelong, and Lee Tudor said that on Saturday night after the game. When Collingwood went into the grand final in 1990, 32 years without a premiership, it's 31 for Geelong. Was there a feeling of destiny there that the Collingwood boys just thought that they were going out to win and it didn't matter what was going to happen out there, you were going to come off with that premiership cup?
Well, I suppose when you look at those finals games, when Sumich had the chance to win the game, and obviously drew, and we went the following week, we obviously thought there was there's a destiny that we were going to win it, and I really believe that Geelong have had the things that have gone their way, and I think they're going to do it. I'll double up that bet with you, Jace, that we had against the West Coast.
I'm back in Geelong.
Did you do? Craig, did you do what Jason said Geelong should do when you went over there 3 weeks ago? Did you hit them hard for a start?
No,
or
we
not?
didn't. I mean, their back lines are key, and we split that up, and I think that's what Geelong have to do this week.
Right, okay, thanks for... Well said, Ned. Is there a feeling of destiny down there at Geelong, though, Billy?
Well, there is, mate.
You've got through a couple of tight ones.
we have. That we're very lucky to win, I suppose, a couple of them. But there's certainly... fate, or there's something, or there's just feeling that it's about time that we won one, and we should win one.
I mean, I'm a bit doubtful with all this mystical stuff, Billy. I mean, when it gets down to the wire at 2:30 on Saturday, fate is about as useful as I don't know, useful as
useful as you at the
Sam,
moment.
They can't afford to lose this. I mean, after 89 and 92, if they lose this one, they'll never live it down, will they? I mean, it's their last chance really for credibility.
Well, I think they're pretty credible already, Jason. They're into the grand final. I keep saying that.
It's no good to keep getting there and not win, though.
Well, it's a very good start to get there in the first. About as useful as a fly-wide door on a submarine, I think, was probably what I was trying to come to. But I reckon that, as I say, I don't know that you want to rely too much on the stars or the movement of the planets, Bill. I think you want to hit them hard and go from there.
Well, we probably won't, mate.
All right, then. Good on you, boys. We'll just leave it then. We'll go to the break, and we'll just go up to Lou and Teddy to find out what they think of the current situation.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Louis, we've had a very busy time tonight, and the show's going all right, Lou.
Certainly is, and Sam's moving in. He's getting ready.
Ready for what, Louis?
To get married again.
Again?
Yes. He's been married that many times. On the bottom of his marriage lines, it reads, to whom it may concern.
Riveting television, son. Riveting television.
No, I'm the star. I'm the star. Get out. Oh, sorry, everyone. Welcome back.
Look, excuse me for interrupting, Eddie, but have you seen this? It's the unauthorised biography of a boy from Broadmeadows who likes dressing up as women. It's called Pantyhose. Thank you for the photos, Mrs. Maguire.
Can we see the mark of the year? This is very embarrassing.
As you can see, a packed stadium. The ball comes long and high to the square. Where's Ablett? He's taken off. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the supercar. Look out, it's the suburbs away on a stride. What a magnificent athlete. What a magnificent view. I tell you what, I don't know who's looking after the barbecue, but the chops are burning in Rabaul. And what's that bloke? Don't tell me we've found the missing skydiver from last year's grand final. Gary, you're a genius. Don't worry, fellas. He's one of ours. Can he grab the pigskin? Yes, he can. No, he can't. Has he got it? Can he hold on to it? The goal scorer's come rushing to meet him. I think he's got it. Gary Ablett, I'll say it now. I reckon that's a candidate for Mark of the Year.
Nice try. Here's what a screamer from Gary Ablett against Collingwood early in the year at the MCG. Now it's time. It's about half time, I reckon, about now at the show. So I think what we should do is just about get ready to go out to Victoria Park for the time-honoured half-time sprint. The boys have been limbering up out there. I think there's been a scratching in the starts now. But what do you reckon, Sam? How would you have gone in the half-time sprint?
Well, I don't know, but we would have perhaps had it at the tennis centre, Eddie, in front of 10,000 people. You know, Channel Rex banned us from doing it at the great extravaganza there, so we had to go out to Victoria Park. So we're very delighted we're out there and in front of a capacity crowd at Victoria Park, something that's near and dear to you, Eddie.
All right, well, let's go out to Victoria Park now with Max Walker for the start of the footy sprint.
Yes, Ed, well, almost a capacity crowd out here at Victoria Park. Not quite a balmy night. The Milky Way's up there, there's no doubt about it. $5,000 up for grabs. And it really is incredible. We've got to say thank you very much to all of those hardy souls that have braved themselves to come along here. A lot of support too for Brett Allison. Look at that. We've got the Mexican wave out here, the start line. They're up there. It is unbelievable. They really were pumped up a little earlier tonight. The crowd are still here. They're waiting for the finals too. They can't wait. And of course, earlier in the night, we did have the first of our heats in the Ford Sprint Challenge. Kim Costa, Brett Allison, Mark Patura, Anthony McGregor, Kane Little from Geelong, and Peter Philandia. Sean Charles was a scratching. Let's have a look at what happened. Well, it's not the night to be moving in without a bit of a warm-up, but we've got one scratching at the moment for this heat. Sean Charles from Melbourne won't be there. Our starter gets them in position on the blocks. Kim Costner down closest to the camera. Oh, and they're away. Costner, beauty. Brett Allison out in front. He's looking good. Mark Patura, where are you? McGregor the Smoky. McGregor the Smoky. He's there. He's pressed to the tape. I think we've got McGregor. Mark Patura looking like a second. And it could be anybody's for third. My goodness, that was close. It certainly was. Okay, let's have a look at the replay on that. Anthony McGregor from Fitzroy. Look at him, he's starting to look good now. Allison making a challenge, starting to lose it. Could it be the difference between Spriggs, runners? McGregor's looking good. Kane Little from Geelong on the outside, and Mark Patura, I think Kane Little second. We're looking at official placings here. McGregor first, Allison second. Third from Richmond. Well, that was the way it was. A little bit of a hassle there on the line. We almost need to go to the old television set to have a look at that one again to run the tape out. But of course, we had a second heat as well. And, well, that one contained John Giorgio, Sean Wellman, Mark Fraser, Ang Christo, Glenn Nugent from Hawthorn, Barry Young and Marcus Ashcroft from Brisbane. Not his conditions tonight. Let's have a look at the way that one panned out. No scratchings in this heat. Giorgio, Wellman, Fraser, Christo, Nugent, Barry Young and Marcus Ashcroft from the Bears. Our starter, Brian Moore, has them set. $5,000 up for grabs, $3,000 to win it. And they're away. Marcus Ashcroft, Sean Wellman, Mark Fraser and Christo. Christo's not there. Wellman, a long way back. Well, my goodness. Let's have a look at the replay again there. That was just a blur of colours down the track. Couple of blocks moved at the start. So on the far left, Ashcroft looking good. Moving down, we've got big run there from Fraser. Sensational run here on the home ground. Mark Fraser and Christo second. And official is John Giorgio of St Kilda, a third place. So only the 6, 3 in each heat, move through to the final. Big race too, over 80 metres there. Magnificent time for Mark Fraser, 9.3. And of course, he'll be up against Anthony McGregor in 9.4. They were the two fastest. We now have our best three in each of the two heats, and it should line up something like this. In lane 1, Ang Christo, Mark Fraser of Collingwood, John Giorgio, Brett Allison, Mark Patura, and Anthony McGregor. One of the favourites down there at the start line at the moment is Simon O'Donnell.
Thanks, Maxie. Well, we're not allowed to bet properly on this, but National Sportsbook have formed a market for us. Only matchsticks can go on it. There's been a few fluctuations. Mark Fraser's coming to 10-9 on from 3s. The big mover, the big shifter, Anthony McGregor from 10s to 5-2. Brett Allison from North Melbourne at 4s. Mark Patura from Richmond at 8s. Ange Christou from Carlton at 12s. John Giorgio from St Kilda at 20s. Let's go and have a look at them on the blocks. The boys, Ange Christou from Carlton in 1. Mark Fraser, here he is. Here's the fave. Have a look at him, will you? What a structure of a man. An absolute structure of a man. Sensational. Look at those legs, magnificent. Mate, any gradient here you want to follow?
Just straight along.
Good as gold.
Hey, Simon.
Yeah, sorry, Ed, I can hear you.
Do you want to introduce Mark to Max?
Mark who?
Mark Fraser. He didn't seem to know him too much in that last race.
He knows. Johnny Giorgio from St Kilda. Brett Allison, completely peeved after what happened on Saturday, so he'll run well. Patura from Richmond.
Mark.
McGregor from Fitzroy. Adrian McGregor from Fitzroy. And specials in lane 7. We've got the chefs on the run.
I'm running.
Now, the best thing that could happen to the chefs on the run is the starter pointed the pistol at them and blew the head off.
Good one.
But they're going in it as well, but I'll leave it in starters' orders. And, Maxie, I'll give it back to you.
Okay, a couple of spare lanes over there, Simon, so it is all set. So here we go. Anthony McGregor is down, Mark Patura, Brett Allison, John Giorgio, Mark Fraser, and Ang Christou. Our starter has them set in the blocks, 5,000, 3,000 to win it, 80 metres. Who is the fastest footballer? And they're out of the blocks. Mark Patura, it's a good one. Brett Allison, and there he is, the Collingwood flyer. It is a beauty. He's there. Collingwood from Richmond. Collingwood from Richmond. There's no doubt about it. Mark Fraser from Mark Patura, I think. We need to have a little look at the replay here. Trial by video. Let's have a look at it. Richmond at the top of the screen. Mark Patura. And has he got there? Fraser, has he got there? Yes, the big stride. Out go the nipples. The tape goes down. And it is a beauty. $3,000. What did you think of that one, Simon?
What happened? 3,000 jumped in the skyrocket for 80 metres, and that was a good win. He's come home pretty well there, Max, I thought.
Tell you what, he did absolutely fly home.
Official, we got it in official, Max. There it is.
Official from Collingwood, Mark Fraser.
Good win. Look at him get this.
Mark Patura picks up the 1,500, and
what an athlete.
What an athlete.
Give us a hug, Mark. Fair dinkum we do it after this stall game. Fantastic.
Okay. On behalf of the Ford Company, there it is, the big one, $3,000. Now, does this go into the team fund at the end of the season?
I don't think so.
Goes into our fund, Max.
Goes into our fund. Well, congratulations on it. You better tuck that one under the arm. It'll take a little bit of putting in an envelope and then fix it up. So, there he is, Mark Fraser from Collingwood. Home ground advantage. Thank you very much, Simon. Everyone else, this has been a beauty. Back to you, Eddie. Big scenes here at Victoria Park.
Done you, Maxie. Maxie walking out there with Mark Fraser. Before we go to the break, Craig Kelly, he reckons he's going to pocket the money there, Mark Fraser.
Fraser, you will be giving us the money. The players will be putting on the fishing trip in about a week's time, mate. You get that right now.
All right, Craig Kelly has spoken. Mark Fraser, the fastest man in footy tonight on the Footy Show. We'll be back with more after this. Yes, a very big West Coast Eagles contingent in here tonight at the football show, and we're just waiting now to see whether the West Coast Eagles have in fact landed, or maybe they might be at their hotel at the Radisson President in Albert Park here in Melbourne. So let's cross now out to the hotel where we've got our man on the spot, Russell Gilbert. Russell, any sign of the boys arriving yet?
No one's turned up yet, Ed, but they're going to be here very shortly. I've seen the rooms. I've asked to see where these well-oiled machines stay. I've been in their rooms. They're just normal rooms. I went in the whole 21 rooms, and they had chocolates on every bed, look. And I thought to myself, well, you know, they're not going to be drinking, so I knocked off stuff out of their minibar as well. And I put some Glad wrap on one of the toilet seats just for a bit of fun.
Now, mate, is there any supporters out there at all?
Any supporters?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, it's the West Coast Eagles. They're a league team. There's supporters here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's one. And he's a dummy. Have a look. Look, hey, Milhana. Cut back to me a little bit later when they turn up.
All right, Russell, keep an eye on things over there and we'll just see what's happening at the Radisson President when the West Coast Eagles do finally turn up. Well, the grand final, it'll be a great coaching duel between Malcolm Blight and also Mick Malthouse. There are a number of key matchups in this game that we need to look at. But before we do, Sam, got any coaching decisions yourself?
You've been shocking off. Come on, Ned. Come back in, son. Come in. Off, yep. No, Dougie, you stay on the bench, mate.
Billy, you stay there all night.
I've got a feeling police will be investing a homicide if Russell has any more of that material when the Eagles arrive.
They might fix him up out there. Now, the big question, I suppose, Barnes has been fantastic, Billy, for your side. Hines has been a pretty good player too. He plays very well in State of Origin football, so he certainly comes up in the big matches. But, boys, this is going to be one of the key matchups, Hines versus Barnes in the ruck. Do you think so, Bill?
Yeah, well, Hines, he's just come from nowhere, really. He's he's been in and out of the side, but his last 4 or 5 games have been sensational, really, with West Coast. And Barnesy, well, what more can you say? I've missed him tonight, but he's been great for us the 2 or 3 years he's been at Geelong, and he might be a bit of a nut, but he can play football.
Now, Billy, just did someone urge John Barnes to go down quickly and take the fairly kick there in the end of the game to save it, or did he just take that on himself?
He would have taken that on himself, and it's just a bit unfortunate that he dropped the mark, but he played a great game.
They're very similar players too, Barnes and Hines. How do you think that Blighty will go? Will he let Barnesy play a loose man across the half-back line, or do you think they'll play pretty much on each other all day?
Yeah, I think they'll probably play on each other because they are pretty similar. So they'll probably pick each other up and run against each other all day, I reckon, Roosie.
All right, let's have a look at the next matchup, and Craig Kelly might give us a comment on this because he has had to take on Gary Ablett in the past. The job will go to Michael Brennan this week, however.
Yeah, well, I've played on him for about 3 minutes and he's kicked 3 goals on me, so...
You've got a bit of a habit of that.
Yeah, well, Jay says he kicks a few on me as well, but no, great player, and obviously if he fires up forward, I think their forward line potentially with Billy and Ablett are fantastic, and Brennan, if he doesn't get in front, I think he'll be in a lot of trouble. He has to play the great man in front.
Would you say that Monkey Brennan would have studied how Mick Martin played him last week and try and replicate that? Or
get the lip happening as well. And all that.
That's right. No, but he's a terrific player, Brennan.
Oh, he is. He's been great. But like I said, unless you get in front of the great man, he's going to kick a bag.
Billy, what was Gary's reaction to getting off of the tribunal during the week? The boys said he was pretty nervous down there on Monday.
He's very relieved the next day, and so were about 180,000 Geelongans. And so were we, actually. So, no, it was good. I didn't think there was a great deal in it, but obviously someone did. So, but it's good that he got off. But I don't know if Brendan will play on Ablett.
If I could just ask Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. over there. Jason, tell me, just on the 2 matchups we've mentioned so far, Hines and Barnes, Brennan and Ablett, who would be the leader as far as winners in those 2, do you think, at this stage?
Who would be the leaders as far as the winners are?
Yes, who would be... would you think Hines would be able to handle Barnes and Brennan Ablett effectively? Or?
A very well put question, Sam. I think Hines is the most underrated player, and I think he's got a very big job to do on Barnesy, who's had a fantastic year. But also, if Brennan picks up Ablett, that's the duel I'll be very keen to watch.
Eddie, he looks like Dickie Nee sitting back there with that thing around his lips, that growth of hair.
Well,
mate, I'd worry about my own nut if I was you.
We're actually looking forward to Jason starring in the remake of Davy Gillis in a couple of weeks' time. But anyway, one of the other key matchups, let's have a look at it now, is Don Pike versus Greg Hocking. And this could be a very influential one because Hocking's such an important part of your side. Brucey, what do you think about Don Pike? He also is one of the prime movers for the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, I watched the game last week. Hocking was sensational, and Pike plays the type of game which is not really a tagging role, but what they call a go-with role now, where they're told to get the football as well as mind a player, and Pike does that very well. But Hocking was certainly the catalyst, Billy, last week with his 15 or 16 touches.
Yeah, Greg was fantastic, and no, he's been good all year, Butter. He's just at the ball, 100% all the time, and he's been a great player for us. And but Pike, as you said, he's that go-with role. So that it will be another interesting tussle.
And he picked up 21 possessions last week, Pike, in his role. Hocking, of course, the prime mover for Geelong. 13 kicks, 21 handballs, which is fantastic, wasn't it?
But Gary said on a couple of occasions that his last two finals haven't been that good, grand finals. He'd be looking to put a better one together this week. Obviously, is a key.
Yeah, certainly, and so will a few of us. So we're certainly looking for a big game.
Wayne, hello. What did you think about Gary Hocking last week, and can possibly Don Pike contain him, or might be vice versa? Can Hocking contain Pike?
He's obviously very important, and I think that it was a good duel last week between Hocking and Stevens. I thought that Anthony Stevens did very well, other than the second quarter where Gary got away from him. I think that Gary and the other Geelong on-ballers tend to be a little bit loose, so I'll have to watch Pike a little bit, I think.
All right, let's have a look at the last matchup that we're going to take a look at tonight, and that is the wingmen, Riccardi and Matera. Last time that they played in a grand final, Peter Matera took apart Mark Bairstow and took home the Norm Smith medal. He gave Mark Bairstow a bit of a ribbing on the Brownlow too the other night. Billy, what was the reaction down at Geelong about that?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't think Toby was too pleased. Bairstow was too pleased, but Riccardi has been another outstanding player for us this year, and they've had some pretty good goes at it over the last few games. So that'll be another good battle.
Both goal-kicking wingmen too, so if they start to get a few running down the wing then scoring a few goals are going to be dangerous.
At worst, Doug, just pay attention when I'm speaking over there. Are you three right over there?
Yes.
At worst, whoever plays on Matera, and let's say it'll be Riccardi, will only contain him to playing a good game. You won't get him to play any worse than good.
Just being an old wingman, Sam, if I was Peter Riccardi, I'd be playing half-back wing, because Peter Matera loves to go forward and kick those goals. So if Peter Riccardi's listening tonight, play half-back wing. Okay, Malcolm?
And I tell you what, Dougie, if we can just get another shot of you there, you look very at home right between those two taps. Trevor says it's a goal. Okay, let's go to the break now with some of the best of Dougie Hawkins.
Very great supporter of John Elliott's, John and Amanda.
He could be overseas, Lou.
Lou.
Yeah, exactly.
300 games, you've just worked out
where you kick the ball.
One of the rules of the game.
Well, it's a new rule, Chris, isn't it?
Certainly not.
Before we go and have a look at the Biff of the year, I'd like you to see this. It's the Sam Newman Guide to Australian Kindergartens. It's the hottest dating book in the country, eh, Sam?
Very amusing. I wish Plugger was here. He'd know how to handle this.
You think he might do something like this?
On the desolate plains of football's wilderness, we come across a flock of Sydney swans, an easy target for such ruthless hunters as the much-feared Tony Lockett. Some sense his presence and wisely make their escape, but one is left alone. He's known as the Caven, brave but vulnerable. What chance does he have against the brute force of the Lockett elbow? Surely one of the most feared weapons in the football kingdom. As the predatorial Plugger approaches, our cameras are about to capture what's known as a bit of Biffo.
Bag me first caving.
Plugger Lockett there. And the mail from Sydney is that, in fact, Plugger apparently is heading up to Sydney this weekend to talk to the Sydney Swans officials, so we might have a bit more on that next week. In the meantime, it's time to go to one of the highlights of the grand final edition of the Footy Show, and that is to welcome our band, Trial by Video. Out the front is Alan Jakovich. Take it away, boys.
Alan.
We're gonna step on you. Just stay out of our way now. keep your business to yourself. You got too much to say now. You are mine, you are mine. Anytime, anytime. There's no time like the right time. Baby, we ain't sure that we like your attitude. Don't you act like a child now. We ain't here for long. No excuse for being rude. Service me with a smile now. You are mine, you are mine. Anytime, anytime. There's no time like the right time. Oh no. Make a sign, cross that line. There's no time like the right time. Baby, watch your step. Going that to mess you up. Just get out of my way now. You might live longer that way now. You are mine. You are mine. Anytime, anytime. There's no time like the right time. Oh no. Make a sign, cross that line. There's no time like the right time, like the right time, like the right time, like the right time. Mustang Sally, guess you better slow your Mustang down. Mustang Sally now, baby, guess you better slow your Mustang down. You've been running all over town. Ooh, I guess you gotta put your flat feet on the ground. County let's ride around Tina. Ride, shadow, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, shadow, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. One of these
for the band. Fantastic, Jacko. Let's meet the band. Alan Jakovich on lead vocals. Well done, Jacko. We didn't know you were that good, mate. Everything okay? You fitting well?
Getting fit, yep.
Okay. On lead guitar tonight, we had James Manson from Fitzroy. On bass guitar, we had his brother Grant. Got a Grant? Yeah. It's a bit of a worry. We've got the Manson family on the show tonight. Benny Gale from Richmond on acoustics. Also from Tigerland on the drums, hitting those skins beautifully, Paul Bullis. From Collingwood, Tony Woods on keyboards. And also on vocals, we had him on singing American Pie, a bit better this time, Stevie Super McPherson from Footscray. The girls backing up beautifully there. Tina Arena, and by the way, Tina, you did beautifully there because we've got your new single here, Tina Arena Chains. When does the single come out? It's out now, is it?
It's out now, right now.
All right, Tina.
Number 13 nationally.
And what do you reckon? We might get the Footy Show band on again to back you on your national tour or something?
You never know.
You sure?
You never know.
I think you're telling us a fib there, Tina.
Well, we'll have a talk about it, Eddie.
All right, Tina. Fantastic tonight for joining us, Jacko. Great stuff. Take us to the break, boys. We'll be back with more Footy Show after this. Welcome back to what has been an action-packed final edition of the Footy Show for season 1994, the big grand final edition, Geelong versus West Coast on Saturday. The Eagles, we're still in search of them to see if they have actually landed in Melbourne yet. Let's go back out to the Radisson President Hotel in Albert Park in Melbourne. And Russell Gilbert. Russell, any news out there yet, son?
Yeah, sort of. What's happened, Eddie, there are a lot of supporters here. I was only joking about being no supporters. So the Eagles actually have arrived, but they've ducked in the back way. So I've been up in the hallway, I've been knocking on the doors and running away and stuff. And and Jakovich came running out and called me an idiot. And I just looked at him and went, milk, lemonade, round the corner, chocolates, mate. And all of a sudden, then I've seen Carl Langdon duck in. He's the only one having drinks. He's supporting the team. And I've just seen the waiter. He's going up to Carl Langdon's room. Have a look here. A couple of Fosters and, as we guessed, peroxide. And last but not least, Sumich. I got to see Sumich. I went into his room, and it's true what they say. He's not a very good kick. He tried to kick me out the front door and I ended up in the bathroom.
Well, let's hope he has a bit more success out there. Hey, stick out there too, Russell, because we'll cross out to you later on if you find somebody, okay, mate?
Okay, mate.
All right, Russell Gilbert out at the Radisson President there tonight. Go on here, Russell. Now it's time to present the award for the Australian Football League Players Association's Most Valuable Player, and to do so, let's cross to one of the all-time greats from the Essendon Football Club, Simon Madden.
Thanks. Thanks very much, Ed. Of course, we've got the Most Valuable Player award from the Players Association, a very prestigious award, and of course we've got a little bit of a nepotism in the family. Of course, we brought my brother Justin on who's the president of the Players Association, to present this, and of course the father this week, Justin.
Yes.
Congratulations to young.
Yeah, young Joel, born Monday, so we're very proud.
What about a round of applause for that?
And I better send my regards to my wife, who's watching the program in hospital tonight. So I better thanks very much, Joel.
Really good on you. Good to see. And of course, being outdone with the tie, the bow tie, you tie it yourself?
Yes, well, it is. It's a self-tie bow tie, and I knew I couldn't compete in terms of colour with anybody on the program tonight, so I thought maybe in terms of shape, Sammy.
And nice to see you both recovered from the bullet wounds to the chin.
Sammy. God made a lot of people, but he only put his thumbprints on the good ones, all right? So anyway, of course, the award, you're going to present this award because we're very close. Our final three, of course, were Glenn Jakovich, Sean Wren and Greg Williams. A very, very close competition between those three, but of course there's a winner.
Yes, there is a winner, and just before I announce the winner, I'd like to just mention the criteria, and the players, all the players in this association have an input, and the criteria for winning the award is versatility, consistency and leading by example, and the peers have voted for Greg Williams as the most valuable player of the year.
Now, Greg, a lot of media awards, and of course you've got the Brownlow. Congratulations for that. But the Players Association, your own award from the players, would be high on the list of prestige.
Yes, it is. No, I'm very proud to win the award from the players and who vote for it. And like I said, it's a great award to win.
Great, and you've got 3 trips. You said earlier on the night. You've got another car, just another one, is it?
I've got a couple of cars in the car yard there.
Well, you'd be very pleased with this because it is a Nissan Navara TI, and of course we've got Lee Morley from Nissan to present the keys to. So congratulations.
Thank you. Good on you, Lee.
Greg, congratulations on a fabulous season. It's my pleasure to present you with the keys to the powerful petrol-powered V6 Nissan Navara.
Right, yeah, thank you. Well, thank you very much and to Justin, who's the president, of course, of the Players Association. Thank the Players Association and also Nissan, of course, for the car, which is a great prize, and to all the other players. And thank you very much.
Now, Greg, you've won $18 million worth of prize. Do something feral.
Teddy's up the back having a drink.
Teddy, go.
Good. Cool rockin' Teddy.
Do something feral.
Hang on, now Lou wants to get in on it.
What are you doing, old-timer? Give him his walking frame.
I say, what's going on tonight?
God, have a look at this. This is Dad's army wandering in. Get off, go to bed. Hey?
Trevor, before we go.
And yes, for all your new car needs, pop down to Greg Williams Motors.
And before we go to the break, Simon, about our home viewer. What does our home viewer win tonight?
Of course, our home viewer, is Peter Harris of Inners Avenue, Ringwood. He's won $5,000 worth of Samsung audio and visual equipment. So what about that?
Samsung.
Samsung. Someone sung it.
And it was great to have them as sponsors too, so thank them very much.
Very good. Someone sung a song and it was Samsung, all right?
Now, Greg, what I was trying to say to you before is do something feral off the wall. Can we see you just get spark up a bit, son? Do something. Do a handspring or something.
I'll drive the car out or something.
You can drive up to the Capricorn holiday in it.
All right, Greg. On that note, we'll leave it there and we'll be back after this break. But first, let's have a look at some more of the highlights from out the year from, Sammy Newman.
Jenny, you look all right. What's wrong with you?
No, look.
You're on the way to the hairdresser, surely, at the minute, aren't you? You really want to make the news? Why don't you jump? Look at this. Look at this. These are not your kids, are they? These are from the same father but different sisters.
Oh, it's only a single one.
That's all we need.
No, I don't.
Whether pornography was all right coming to the city.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, pornography?
Awful. I think it's shocking.
Some of it's okay, isn't it? What's that, madam?
Westpac Bank in Terrace Street. Do you know what part of the terrace it's in?
Do you know the clock up there?
Yeah.
It's nowhere near there, madam. No, I was only joking. What, are you on the sherry early, are you? I feel like the dog outside the butcher shop. Oh.
Thank you. Sammy, don't be so old.
I'm not being old. It's beautiful.
It's more than a game.
Yes, the eternal argument in football, it was tougher in my day. And to argue the point for it was tougher in my day, on my left, Ted Whitten, Mel Brown and Lou Richards. Still got all the charm and appeal of the old days. To argue against it, that it is tougher these days, of course, we have Jason Dunstall, Doug Hawkins and Dermot Brereton. And our judging panel to make sure everything is above board, and we'll find out, in fact, who is the best debaters here tonight. Our judges from Live and Sweaty on the ABC, Elle McFeast. And here to Elle. And my colleague from the Richard Stubbs Breakfast Show, 6 to 9 on Triple M and the Friday Fast Line, Richard Stubbs.
We've also got Trev here too, Ed.
And Trevor Marmalade. Where's Trev?
In one of the...
I think he's dropped the cork.
Oh, okay. Well, Trev's over the back there. The rules are tonight, each speaker has 1 minute. The bell will go at 45 seconds. To lead off, The man who played 321 games with the Footscray Football Club was regarded as one of the toughest players of all time, but oddly enough, made 2 appearances only at the AFL Tribunal, was never rubbed out and was obviously never suspended. Here's the only clean skin on the panel tonight, Ted Whitten.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've got 1 minute to explain to you people out there that we in our day were a lot tougher than these soft-looking footballers of today. You may look strong because you pump iron, but son, you've only got to watch the football these days and you see, out comes a stretcher. And they don't get pushed on now, they just jump on some of these players. One player jumped on the other day with the cramp onto a stretcher. Plays held up. Everything stops while the stretcher goes off. In our day, when you got it down the middle and you really hit with a full-blooded hip and shoulder, you went to hospital. Now they go off the ground and they're back 3 minutes later kicking goals and running around as if nothing's happened to them. My mate Fatty Brown. Now, when he went off and erupted like a volcano up there in Rabaul at the moment. He took them on 2 at a time, and I look at these players now, and when you bounce off them, they're a little bit soft. Don't you tell me to get off, because it won't be long before you're sitting on that side with us.
The first speaker for the Young Bloods has been reported on one occasion, which a lot of people didn't know. Jason Dunstall was found guilty on one occasion and suspended for 1 week. Will he be the one tonight? Let's find out. Jason Dunstall.
Before debating any topic, the golden rule is to first define the topic. So I consulted the Pocket Oxford Dictionary. Tough, of great endurance, hard to masticate. That means to chew, not pull. Able to endure great hardship. I also, excuse me, you had your time, Fossil. I also looked up the word thug. The word thug means ruffian or brutal assailant. Now, on one hand, we have finely tuned athletes. On the other hand, we have common street thugs. Now, let's be realistic. In your day, I've only ever seen you knock out 8 blokes. Great as far as pugilism goes, but not tough in foot. You missed 8 weeks with a hangnail.
What's a hangnail?
And Mr. Football, you're kidding. It should be Mrs. Football.
Hey.
The toughest thing about you is your mouth. And I'm sure we'll hear that overrunning in a minute. Now, these guys are tough. Dermot Brereton, the toughest man I've ever seen. 89 grand final, perfect example. Cracked 11 ribs. Got up, played the game and dominated.
But they were his own.
Excuse me, you garden gnome. Oh! Dipper in the same game. In the same game. I'm just warming up.
It's a very brave man who takes on Mel Brown, as the Carlton Football Club found out in the Australian Championships one year and the boys out at Windy Hill found out in 1974. Well, Mel Brown, he only played 14 games of football, but in that time he did find enough time to be reported on 2 occasions, be found guilty on 2 occasions, and from those 14 games he missed 5 further games through suspension. Mel Brown.
You tell him, Brownie. Come on, son. I'm with you, Fatty.
Ladies and gentlemen, our era was an era of absolute vicious and violence. But you look at these 3 puffs on the corner. This Dunstall, this boring individual that lead, marks and kicks goals. Today in football, you're not allowed to bleed. You're not allowed to trip. You're not allowed to swear. You're not allowed to stick your fingers up at the umpire. You're not allowed to drink or drive or you're a bloody idiot. You're not allowed to lie at the tribunals. You have to have videos to protect you in retrospect. Football today, they have to have AIDS tests. They have to have drugs tests. And have a look at this thing over there with earrings in his bloody ear.
Right. Exactly right.
Hang on,
and long hair. In our day, when we got reported, they used to take you in after the game, put your hand on the table, cut it with a knife, put 6 stitches in, take you into the tribunal and say, would this man hit a person with stitches in his hand? And of course the answer is no, even if it's 3 days late. Thank you very much.
Dougie Hawkins broke Ted Whitten's record with 329 games. We don't know if he's going to go on and make that 330 or not, but in his time he has made 7 appearances before the AFL Tribunal. Disgusting. Has been rubbed out on 3 occasions, and like the number on his back, has missed 7 weeks through suspension. The boy from Braybrook, Dougie Hawkins.
Thank you, Eddie. Last week on the Footy Show, all the viewers saw me in my lovely tight Speedos. During the week, I rang Ted's wife, Val Whitten, lovely Val Whitten, and asked her about what sort of shorts would Ted wear under his, what sort of bathers or things he had under his shorts, and there they are here, right in front of me now. If you gave them to me, there they are. Teddy, you played your last game in these.
I think they're my brothers. Johnny,
And the problem is now, Ted, you wouldn't be able to fit in them now, they reckon.
Yeah, I thought you were
So
mate of
that's how
mine.
tough you are. And a matter of fact, you won Mr. Epperlock, or whatever it is. Inverloch in 1960.
Oh,
We had the
look at that.
cameras in 1963.
Epilogue.
Epperlock, whatever it was. And there you are wearing them again, Teddy. You were soft.
Soft?
Yeah, and a matter of fact,
Hey!
and hang on, I wanted to finish off.
You only have to go
You didn't get invited to the Brownlow. I felt sorry for you. But I'm the games record holder at Footscray, and none of them got invited either. So don't worry about that.
The last speaker for the old timers
He wasn't much
is
good,
the
was
great
he?
man himself, Lou Richards. 250
Louis.
games for the Collingwood Football Club.
Shut up.
He was only reported once in his 250 game
I have
career,
got a
but on
headache.
that time he was rubbed out and
Louis.
rubbed out for 2 weeks. Let's hear it for Lou Richards.
Louis! Come on! You tell him, Louis. You tell him.
Ted, do you want to do this debate? Will I do it?
I'm just protecting you.
Now, look, I'm not going to rant
Georgie
and
Byrne.
rave and carry on because I know these players are not as tough as we were. Things were that tough in our day, quite seriously. We had to give the chewing back after the game.
Chewing gum.
Truly, chewing gum?
Chewing gum.
Chewing gum. Now, we had a player playing with us in 1950. He tried to crash through a pack. He was hit so hard down the front that all his front split open and all his guts dropped out.
Oh, get on you, Louis.
But luckily for us, we had a surgeon. He tucked his guts back in, sewed him up, he played on and won the game. That's one example.
Hear ya.
Now,
Toughness.
in
Real
1955, we had another player that tried to crash through a pack with his head, and his head was split open and all his brains dropped out. But fortunately for us, we had a neurosurgeon there, tucked his brains back in again, sewed him up,
Real
and he
tough.
played on and won the game, and that's how tough they were.
They're tough.
Now, if you're trying to compare it with modern-day footballers like these girls here, they got a bloke that used to play for Sydney and played for quite a while when he got a game. But he had no brains and no guts and still got a game. His name is Dermot Brown.
And to finish off the debate tonight, and he has got the mad stare going too. The boy they called the Kid. Well, he's pretty tough. In fact, have a listen to this. 196 games, 16 tribunal appearances, 8 guilty for a massive 37-week suspension. The Kid from Frankston, Dermot Brereton.
Right back to front.
Teddy, if you want to talk about toughness, and don't start you, I will make you put skiddies in them real quick if I lined up on you, and they would be filthy. Brownie, the only reason you haven't got an earring, because you couldn't go through the pain of piercing your ear, and Lou, you were reminiscent of dog droppings on the sidewalk.
Oh!
You started off dark up top, it's gone white, I'm just waiting for you to turn into powder and blow away.
I don't spend an hour in the dressing room getting my
Shut
up.
Look, our guys.
You're
Now,
a
wait, shut up, Lou, or I'll unscrew your head and you try to pull your blouse out through the Time out, begin again.
Okay, Dermot, take over.
Theoretically, our guys move quicker, they are better performed, they are better skilled athletes, they hit quicker. And if you want to go back to Newton's law, I'm speaking to the crowd, you moron. If you want to go back to Newton's law, force equals mass times acceleration. Our guys are bigger and they move quicker. They hit with a harder force. So you guys just punch from behind.
Oh, bull. What you say?
Join in the eye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we can just have some silence for a moment as we cross to Elle McFeast and Richard Stubbs for their decision on tonight's debate.
Very difficult, very difficult.
Tough call, Ed.
Very difficult topic, degree of difficulty, 7.5. Thank you, Lou. I think you're a bit.
I think you're beautiful.
I think you're a bit. I think you're a bit too.
Points off
Thanks,
for
Ed. No, you
crawling.
really won't.
I really love you, Ed.
Shocking
I love
debate.
you
Worst
too,
I've
mate.
ever seen, Ed,
Dreadful.
and perfect for the show. I've got to say, we're in third. I thought sensational.
Degree of difficulty 7.5. Having
Very
to
tricky.
actually make sentences.
Ted, sensational opening. Kicked it off well.
Yeah.
Great closer.
Good presentation.
I liked everything you did. There wasn't any thought. There was just yelling. You got to love that. I had to love that. Jace got up. Jace is great. M3, Jace, the fossil. Brought nastiness into it, and the whole thing just degenerated into farce. And that was great because it was on a heady level. Mal? Gee, earring line, sensational.
Yes.
I thought you actually put arguments together which almost threw your side off balance. And I thought that could have blown it for you, actually. But luckily, I thought then Dougie jumped up. Gee, that was frightening.
Dougie was good, wasn't he?
Well, he was good. I mean, I enjoyed the chat. I just wasn't sure what the point was. You know, I mean, I loved it. I like the undies. I think we all love an undies.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Skinny top.
Wait, you got to love this. Look at this.
Okay.
Let's take the undies.
Richard and Al.
Well, our votes go. Well, on balance, you would have had to. I think Dermot's born out of his time. Dermot really would have done better.
I'm going to cross the floor.
A few decades ago. I'd like to give it, you've got to give it to the old timers just because they're violent.
Who won, Richard?
The old timers have definitely won because they're violent.
Oh, that's rubbish.
The winner tonight of the great debate, the old timers. Let's go to the break. We'll be back with more Footy Show after this. Welcome back to the Footy Show. Before we go on, Sam, I can't help but noticing you're looking more and more like John Elliott.
Oh, pig's ass.
Yeah, what's that you're reading, Sam?
How to flog stuff on the Footy Show without looking really blatant about it.
Is it any good?
Looks impressive, but it's a waste of money.
Speaking of waste of money, Dermot Brereton's season up in Sydney. Let's have a look at just what went wrong.
So, I haven't played since 1991. So, they don't call me the kid anymore. I'll show the Hawks. I'll show everyone. I'm in peak physical condition. Ready to be a Sydney Swan. After all, I've still got a good head on my shoulders. Who's shrunk? Hey, guys, who's the practical joker? Who's shrunk the doors? Hey, wait for me!
Welcome back for the last time for season 1994 to the Footy Show. Dermot Brereton, can we ask you, Dermy, before we go to Trev, we're going to see you again back out on the footy ground?
Don't know, Ed. It depends what happens before Christmas. See how I go with a bit of training. Sammy, you should be behind it. It's a different kind of bar for you to stand behind. So you can come over here later.
Dermy, who's going to win the flag?
I think Geelong will win by... Oh, sorry, West Coast will beat Geelong by about 6 goals. I'm hoping Geelong will win, though.
Trevor, you had something to add before we went to Dermy there? You've been on your medication. You've gone out and had some.
They were my oranges, Mummy.
Okay, more of those medications later on. Ooh. Okay, Trev, just sit there, mate. You're looking good, mate. Okay. Dougie Hawkins, let's get some tips. Doug, who do you think will win the flag?
I'd love Geelong to win it, Eddie, but I think West Coast will.
Roosy, who's going to win the flag?
I think I'm with the other boys. I think West Coast is going to be too strong.
Billy, we know that you think Geelong's going to win. Jason?
No, I'm going for Geelong. I'm on Billy's bandwagon.
Craig Kelly?
Geelong, Eddie. And just quickly, Tony Shaw's, he has finished this year. We've got a dinner for him, gala dinner, 2nd of December. Anyone wants to ring the club, please.
All right. Billy, good luck for the match. Sam Newman, who do you think's going to win?
Well, seeing as we're into the plugging business, the trial by video absolutely lit up the switchboard. They are available for bookings, the band, and I think that the West Coast are an absolute certainty to get beaten by Geelong. And this will appear on the Sunday Age banner the day after the grand final on the Sunday morning. That's what I think.
Sam, one of our very special guests during the year who got a lot of recognition was Sam Kekovich. Keka's back on. Keka, who do you reckon will win the flag?
Oh, thank you, Eddie. I think I've served my penance now. I've been made aware that, you know, last time I was on, I went over 15 minutes and you've effectively just vetoed me and I've confined to a quick 30 seconds. Who's going to win? Well, I think the West Coast Eagles will win quite comfortably. I thought that Geelong were in with an undeniable chance up until 30 seconds, till Wednesday, until the AFL chipped in and nominated an umpiring panel which was totally different to the one that officiated at the preliminary final.
Thanks very much for that.
So I'm going for the West Coast.
Sam Kikovich, we finally got it out of him. The Sunday Age will be bringing out all the football news on Sunday in their supplement, and this is what the headline banner will probably say.
Yeah, you idiot.
Thanks very much, Sam.
Well, Eddie, I think we should say, on behalf of everyone here, it has been fantastic to do the Footy Show on Thursday this year, and we want to thank you for your tremendous support right around Australia and for the thousands and hundreds, not hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of letters we got. We just think it was fantastic, and thanks for your support.
All right then, Sam, for the first time and only time in season 1994, Sam Newman has been sincere. It's been fantastic. As Sam said, it's been a pleasure bringing you all the footy news on a Thursday night. We hope to see you next year again. Good luck to both teams, West Coast and Geelong, in the grand final. Good night.
All your life you've dreamed, now the time is here. Road ahead unclear, push aside your fear. The world will remember your
This has been another presentation of Nine's Wide World of Sports.